International Purple Fest is being organized from 9th October to 12th October 2025 in Panjim, Goa. It is a festival that supports inclusion and accessibility. And I have the pleasure here of having the State Commissioner, Mr. Guruprasad Pawaskar, who is State Commissioner of Persons with Disabilities. Welcome and happy to have you here, sir. So how does it feel to be the Commissioner of Person with Disabilities, where you can help and people who really need it in our state of Goa?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very important position, not because of the chair and not because of the designation that it has, but because of the change that you can make for the persons with disabilities, and you can see that change, positive change, which affects day-to-day lives of persons with disabilities. Though it is a very, very important post, I feel that it is a very, very challenging post at the same time, because it's not that easy to create all those things which people expect you to do the job, and expectations are very, very high, and therefore, as I said, there are huge challenges to cater to the various needs of persons with disabilities in the state of Goa.
What is the aim and vision of the Purple Fest?
Aim of International Purple Fest is to create the sensitization, to create the awareness, to change the mindset. When I say change the mindset, the mindset of the non-disabled people, that has to be changed towards persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities are doing extremely well. They can do all those things that we can do, but the problem is the non-disabled have a lot of barriers in their mind, and those barriers we have to remove. And when I say when we remove, it is not that easy. It is a process which can happen over a period of time, because our mindset, our culture, our background, our upbringing, has taught us to look at persons with disability with pity, with a lot of sympathy. I think that has to go away, and it has to change. It has to be more. We have to look at it with more of empathy, and then only that mindset will change. It will take time, but the whole Purple Fest aim is to change the mindset of non-disabled and to create the inclusion. We talk about inclusive society, we use big words, but on the ground we don't see that inclusion happening, and it will take time, and to see that change we need the mindset change.
Very true. People need to be more open to persons with disabilities. How is it that you all are making it easy for people from remote areas of Goa to come and participate in this festival?
It's a very, very important question, because this year's theme is of universal design. When we talk about universal design, it is about accessibility, it is about inclusion. And having said that, we have Purple ambassadors who are appointed. So there are 21 disabilities which are notified as per the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act. So we have Purple ambassadors for representing each disability, and this year we have ensured that most of the Purple ambassadors are from rural background of India. They'll be from Orissa, Chhattisgarh and other places. And having said that, how do the people come participate? We will ensure that persons with disabilities from all walks of life, all corners of Goa come to this place, and we will ensure that there is transport facilities which are available. The students from all the schools across the state, we will always be there. They were there last year also, and this year also we will ensure that they don't only come and just visit, but they take part in the various programs that are held during the International Purple Fest.
So how would the people with disabilities get to know about this transportation service that you all are having for them to come, and the activities? So where can they get this information?
We have a International Purple Fest app which everyone has to download from the Play Store. They have to first register as a delegate. This registration is free. All the programs are on the app, and this app gets updated every day. Every day we are adding more and more events to it. The most important question is that app accessible? When we talk about inclusion, whatever digital platforms that we have, we are trying to push the government also to make it accessible for persons with disability. So if I'm a blind person, I should be able to know what is there on the app. So this app is completely accessible for persons with disabilities, and they will get all the information on the app from 9 to 12. There are a lot of pre-events. They start from 4th of October onwards. The first is the wheelchair cricket, national wheelchair cricket, where we have almost 15 states participating. We will have international deaf conference, where we will have a lot of international delegates who will be part of this conference. So all these events are already there on the International Purple Fest app, which we have created, and so far we have almost crossed 6,500 delegate registration on it across the country and international level.
That's wonderful, But would there be any counseling or transportation provided from villages and from different panchayats, and do they go to the houses of person with disabilities, because not everyone would be mobile savvy?
Absolutely. So basically we are trying to share this information through panchayat, through various other, we have these field workers in the state of Goa who are allotted 2 to 3 panchayats, and they are aware of the houses of the persons with disabilities where they stay, because they go with various schemes. So their services also will be utilized as we approach the dates of the International Purple Fest. But we will ensure that most of them come to Panjim and experience various things which are there at the International Purple Fest.
I can definitely see, you've got your heart into the work that you do, and you have won an award as the best commissioner. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so last year I was conferred as the best state commissioner in the country at the hands of Honorable President of India, Shrimati Draupadi Murmu. And I think the credit for this goes to the entire team. As a person, one person cannot do everything. I have a very strong team, and the award was mainly because of the smooth organization of Purple Fest. And this happened because of participation of various NGOs who are partners in this. Though government of Goa is the key player, we have a lot of NGOs who are involved in curating various sessions, and the credit goes to the entire team. It is not my personal award, it is the award for the entire team, I would say.
Talking about NGOs, how can the government and the NGOs work together, not only for the Purple Fest but all year round, to bring about this change and have a bigger impact?
I think this is a very, very important question, because what we realize, not only in Goa but other parts of country, many of the NGOs are doing extremely great job, but they are all working in silos. Purple Fest gave them a platform where they could come together at one stage, exchange the best practices what they are doing. In fact, a lot of them have signed MOUs with each other, not only nationally but international also. We come to know about this when we visit other states, and they tell us, we met in Goa and now we are taking it forward. So basically it's more about strengthening the NGOs and the grassroots people who are doing the real work.
So NGOs that are working with persons with disabilities, how can they contact your department, or how could that connection be built? What would you say?
Basically NGOs from Goa who are working in the disability sector, as I said, are part of International Purple Fest, because they are our partners when we arrange a lot of programs for them. Whereas NGOs from other states, they are connecting, they are hosting various events in the state of Goa, and they are also registering via the International Purple Fest app.
Okay. Can you tell us some of the success stories that have evolved through the Purple Fest?
I think the most important success story I would say is people are now using the right terminology. If I had to give this interview sitting here 5 years back, you would have used the word handicap 100 times. Now people are using the word person with disability. We are giving dignity to the person. We are not talking about his disability, what he cannot do, but what he can do. I think that mindset is most important. Sensitization within the bureaucracy, within the government has changed many folds. And why it is changed? Not because Purple Fest, because of the programs that we have in the Purple Fest. There are various experience zones in the Purple Fest where we invite the bureaucrats, we invite the government servants to take part in it, and they are given an experience of a life of a disabled person. They are blindfolded, they are hindsight tied, and there are a lot of activities. So when you go into the shoes of a person, then you actually start realizing what the life is, and this is how slowly the mindset is changing. And then it will take a lot of time. As I said earlier, it is not 1 year job or 3 year job, it may take next 50 years for a complete revolution to happen, but that we have started the moment.
So the International Purple Fest is now in collaboration with the United Nations. could we look for international companies coming down, or better facilities aiding person with disabilities during the festival and after the festival?
So we already have a lot of queries where international participants are already keen to come. They have already booked some of the stalls, exhibition stalls, where they want to showcase the best practices, the best products, and I'm sure not only Goa, the entire country will benefit out of it. When we talk about International Purple Fest, we are talking about Goa definitely benefits out of it, but the entire country too benefits out of it, because it is not only about international participants who come here. There are a lot of companies within India who are doing a great job. They will also showcase their best practices and the best products available in terms of whether it is aids and appliances, whether it is resources, whether it is about practices for inclusive education. So a lot of things are there on the table.
Okay. So the Purple Fest is full of activities and best facilities. What can they look forward to this Purple Fest?
I would suggest there are a lot of expectations from all those who are coming, who will come for the third year. We have added a lot of new sports activities this time. Adventure sports is one of them, and especially the water sports. We are going to have parasailing, jet ski, scuba diving. We want to give them these experiences. We want to take them on a trail. We'll take them to Sherra Island. We'll take them to various places. The first year was we tried bird watching for blind. Nobody thought about it. But it was a hit program where our volunteers were there, taking them at 6 o'clock in the morning, telling them about describing them what kind of bird it is, what kind of tree it is, where the location of the area. It was very interesting. And to add on to that, we are now trying to explore more places, taking them to various parts of Goa. So I think delegates will definitely look forward for these activities.
And this is the third time now it's happening in Goa. So how is Goa as a state benefiting from this?
I think there's a huge impact that this Purple Fest has created. As I said, the bureaucracy, the government, whole government officials are looking at it differently. Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, has created a separate department which was not there. And there is a separate ministry now. Honorable Minister Subhash Vadesai leads it, and he leads it from the front. He walks the talk. He is there on the ground with all of us, for the activities, planning all the events. And this department is now coming out with various schemes. Why I am saying this department was important, because now it will entirely focus on persons with disabilities. Otherwise, it was a part of a social welfare department where there were a lot of other activities, and this was getting a bit lost. Now there is entire focus is on this department. They are coming out with schemes, and in longer run, maybe 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, we will actually see huge impact of this new department. Apart from that, there is a lot of things which are happening in inclusive education. We are trying to create accessible infrastructure in the state of Goa, making buildings accessible. That has started, and as I said, it's a moment. It will take some time. But we are working on it. I think that's the huge advantage for the state of Goa. We have introduced accessible transport, where you can see wheelchair accessible rickshaws which are taking persons with disabilities from point A to point B, and this is now been replicated in other states. So I think it's a huge success for us that other states are now kind of trying to do what we are doing.
I can see a movement, not just an event. How did you come up with that, and what does that mean?
When we started this Purple Fest, we never thought it would be so huge successful, when we first that idea came up. But after the initial success, now other states are doing it. In fact, the President of India hosted the Purple Fest at the Rashtrapati Bhavan last year, and we were knowledge partners for that. Again, I think Maharashtra hosted it. It is Jammu is trying to do it. So other states are trying to replicate what we are doing at the same scale, and we are happy that it is now spreading across the country. And we had some meeting with international partners. They want to now do it in their country as well, because what has happened is Purple Fest, as I said, has given a platform for all disabilities. There are programs, there are conferences which are targeted one disability. Maybe there will be a conference only on blind, only on deaf, or only on intellectual disability, but here you get everything together. All things are planned, taking into consideration needs, challenges of all persons with disabilities.
Okay. After the event of Purple Fest, how do you plan to get this movement going throughout the year, where people from Goa, persons with disabilities, can avail of certain facilities, certain help, even with documents, government documents that need to be done, being more accessible to other facilities which they have not had in the past?
We are soon starting with a proper data collection of persons with disabilities, which we do not have at the moment, because the last census was done in 2011, and that too, as I said earlier, only limited disabilities were covered. So once we have this data, we will be able to plan out proper schemes of persons with disabilities, which we are already doing, but it can have a proper structure when we have a proper numbers with respect to each disability. So that we are planning. As I said, inclusive education is happening. With the survey, we will also know the skills of persons with disabilities, where we can employ them. Ultimately, we have to ensure that they have economic independence and they should be able to live their life independently. Having said that, from last Purple Fest to this Purple Fest, we have employed more than 250 persons with disabilities, provided them gainful employment. They are on their own. They are not now dependent on their family members, and they are living a very, very dignified life. At the end of the day, what matters is how independent you are in all the activities, including the most important, that you should be economically independent, and that is what should be the target. See, everything leads to that, right? And to come, suppose I am employed somewhere, I need access to go there. So everything will start. It's a circle. It can't be individual things.
Very true, because if you can restore that dignity in that human being, nothing else matters.
Absolutely.
And how would you plan post Purple Fest to provide that employment, and more than the employment, skill training for person with disabilities?
So as I said, when we do this employment, it's not a direct employment. Suppose I am a person with disabilities and I want to get employed, let's say at your hospitality. It is not that I come and approach you directly. There is some training program which happens at the background. There is 3 months proper training. It is not about training of the person with disabilities. More training is required for the employees who are already working in that institution, because they need to be sensitized, because that person with disability should not face any problem from the co-workers. That is more important. So we don't only skill the person with disability, but we also ensure that there is a proper sensitization and awareness programs at the company level, so that there is a retention. Otherwise, if I am not treated well, I will leave that job, right?
True.
Only if I get proper respect. Money is not everything, but I should get proper respect where I work, and that can come only when the co-workers give you that respect. So we ensure that that training also happens.
So person with disabilities in Goa, can they get this information of when you all have these trainings, or when there is an employment that they could apply for?
There is no specific scheme as such, but there are parents who approach us directly. We have our team on the ground working on it, and as I said, once we get the request, what we do is we just don't blindly say that okay, there is a place here you can go, and our person will go and visit that house. He will talk to the parents, he will talk to the person, he will check what the skills are. He will then match those skills which are required by the institution. He also has to like the job, what he does, right? Yes. If I tell him to do, you do typing, no, he says, no, my skill is printing. Yes. He will not stay there for a long time. So a lot of things go into place, and it is not a month job. By the time the person gets employed, it may take 6 to 8 months.
True. So do you have any counseling in the pipelines, like post Purple Fest? Like Purple Fest opens, the avenues and opens people's eyes to inclusion and accessibility. But post that, would you have counseling to persons with disabilities and their families to kind of know what are the facilities, and that there's life beyond that?
So what happens with Purple Fest, a lot of information goes to the person who actually requires the information, whether it is parents, whether it is person with disability, whether they are special educators, and this information actually translates into getting the best services. Whether it is not only counseling is one part of it, but there are so much of therapeutic interventions which are required, like speech therapy, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, where these services are available, who are the best clinical psychologists, who are the best speech therapists, how do you get certification process. So everything gets rolling, and this information is it can't be in this 4 days event, right? It has to be 365 Correct. Days. Yes. And that information goes from our office to the community through various programs that we conduct throughout the year.
Okay, so you have traveled around the world and have met people with disabilities, and you've seen the facilities that they have out there. Could you tell us some of the stories that would inspire people in Goa?
No, I would say that some of the facilities there we have in Goa, like the early interventions that we provide to children with disabilities, is in par with any other developed nation, I would say. But we are still lacking in the accessibility part of it. The physical infrastructure will take a little time. That's because of it's not that easy, because we have a lot of old buildings, old structure, heritage buildings, the roads are small, so that has to be worked. But having said that, in some areas of Panjim we have been able to create that infrastructure. We have to ensure that persons with disabilities they get proper education to the higher education level. We don't see that much. People drop out because of the lack of infrastructure at the higher education level. We have to improve that. Again, as I said, it is not that only the college is responsible, everyone is responsible. As a team we have to work towards it. So these are the areas we need to focus, and slowly I think we are moving in that direction.
Are you all working to promote inclusion in education institutions?
No, not working. It is a mandate. It is a right of a person with child with disability to get education what he wants, and we have to ensure that he gets admission in the right school at the right college. It's very sad to say that some of the colleges, institutions still deny admission to a child because he is a disabled child, which they are not supposed to do. Then we have to intervene, and then we ensure that he gets an admission. But as I said, that mindset has to change. Who denies the admission? The school denies the admission. Who are the school authorities? They are very highly educated people. So if educated people are doing like this, we can't expect non-educated to, but sometimes I feel the non-educated have more empathy towards persons with disabilities. It is the educated class that has to change.
So this has been wonderful talking to you, and so much of information out there, and I would recommend everyone to go to the Purple Fest, meet people with disabilities, see the activities that they do. It's amazing how they are branching off into various sports activities and other things, coming together as a community to work for them. Would you like to give any message to the audience?
Yes, definitely. I would invite all those who are watching this to please come to Purple Fest. Purple Fest is not only for persons with disabilities, it is for all of us. It is the inclusion that we are talking about. It is the inclusive society that we want to see, and to motivate them, to inspire them. Please come and see the talent that they have. I'm not inviting you just to come and watch, but you can see a lot of talent. You can see people who are doing a lot of activities there. We have a lot of live workstations there where persons with disabilities demonstrate various activities, and I think we will get inspiration from, we'll get inspired to do much more for this sector.
So where is the main Purple Fest going to happen?
So main Purple Fest venue is Inox ESG complex, where IFE takes place, and the sports events are happening at various things like Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium, Bambolim Athletic Stadium, and some other schools in city of Panjim.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you with us today. And to the audience, don't forget, 9th October to 12th October, Purple Fest in Panjim, Goa.